Okay, so here's an example of subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. As you can see, I've got two fractions here, and the denominators, the bottom numbers, are different. So what we have to do is we have to get them common so that it's easier to subtract this. So the first thing we're going to ask ourselves is if we look at the lower of the two denominators, that's going to be the number that's our base. We're going to ask ourselves, is the higher denominator, in this case the 6, in the lower denominator 3's times table? Is 6 in the 3 times table? Yes, it is. 3, 6. That's good news. That means we can use the 6, the higher of the two, as our common denominator. We can't use 3 because 3 is too low for 6, but 6 isn't too low for 3. So we're going to use a 6. So I'm going to have a little equal sign on both sides. I'm going to put the line with the 6 underneath here and a line with a 6 underneath there. Okay? Now, let's continue. The good news is that because the 6 is here and the 6 is here, if this and this match, this has to match. So obviously, the 5 remains there. I'll have a look down here. It gets a little tricky. Not really, but different. 3 and 6 are not the same number, but what do I do to 3 to get 6? I multiply it by 2, right? 3 times 2 is 6, which means I also have to multiply the top by the same number. These two parts have to match, these two steps. So what's 2 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? So now my new problem is 5/6 minus 4/6. So now it's easy. The denominator stays the same, that's 6. And now I just subtract the numerators. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now I got 1 over 6. Now, I have to ask myself, am I finished? Am I done? Well, the answer is yes. Why? Because no matter how big this bottom number is, this bottom number could be infinity. Okay? It doesn't matter as long as the numerator is 1. Here's a little rhyme. If the numerator is 1, you know you're done. Right here. Which means that no matter how large this bottom number is, this denominator, if the top number, the numerator, is 1, you're finished. You can't go lower than that, because then you're going to get into decimals and it gets a little weird. So 1/6 is the simplest way to write this. Remember, if you do decimals, it's not going to be simple. 1 is as simple as it gets. So my final answer is 1 over 6. Okay? Now let's do one that